Hey, thanks for being here. Seriously, I mean it. Thank you so much. I barely have time to do this video today, and I look like a drowned rat. It's funny because I'm going to be talking about Venus, the planet of inner and outer beauty. So it's a little bit of irony. Um, we're going to talk about Venus for the week of July 6th through the 11th. Venus is going to be doing some interesting shenanigans or gymnastics, whatever you want to call her maneuvers for this coming week. She's finishing up her transit in Leo, where her influence may have led us to wonder who we are as individuals in relationships, because Leo is about the self, the individual, and Venus at her core represents cooperation and relating. She is the social antenna counterpart to Mars, where Mars is not about sophistication really. Unless it's Mars in Libra, then the struggle would be to figure out how to civilize certain impulses. But Mars is inherently, I call it the caveman. It's the primal instinctual aspect of ourselves. Venus is the counterpart to Mars because Venus is about culturing our civility. When Venus is in Leo, it's the energy of what am I cultivating in my relationships from the core of the self. I see Leo as the core of the self because it's ruled by the sun. To me, the sun is the inner light trying to express in the outer world. The moon is our internal self that occupies the subconscious. The sun is the conscious mind and how it's connected to expressing our core self, the inner light. The sun also lights up everything it touches. So, what are we cultivating in relationships connected to our inner light? Are relationships warm or cold? Is another question when Venus is in Leo. So, we're really feeling, some of us in the collective may be really feeling the coldness coming from certain people and wondering why they don't extend the same radiance to us that we extend to them. Venus reaches the 29th degree of Leo this week, and that is the anaretic degree. The anaretic degree is degree 29. Some astrologers would call it a crisis point. You could say that. It's a culmination, pressure to culminate. Yeah, it's feeling pressure to finish up, wrap it up, everything that Venus has been nurturing, you could say, through this cycle in Leo. So we're finishing up understandings about how our light is received as we try to relate in the human world, you know? So when this occurs, it's possible. Oh, I forgot to say, I gotta add this in. I feel like it's important. These are just my interpretations. It's not going to be true for everybody. It's going to manifest on layers of subtlety, or maybe it'll be obvious. I don't know. The point of this channel is just to express my interpretations of transits. Why? I don't know. I don't know what I'm offering to the world through this, but I'm just doing it because it's fun. Really that's really what this is about. I'm not here to be a teacher or a guide. I'm here to just offer my expression. If it resonates with you and illuminates something, I'm really happy about that. But if it doesn't, just know that you're sovereign and you don't have to listen to anything that I'm saying. I'm not entitled to your attention in any way, which is funny because we're talking about Venus and Leo. It's like, I am entitled to your attention. It's resolving that though. Venus in Leo is resolving entitlement if you work with the energy. So that's what I was getting into. What a segue. I just did a segue. Venus in Leo can highlight entitlement in relationships. Where are we taken for granted? Where do people feel entitled to our shininess? And how are they selfish? That's a tough one. The selfish one-sidedness in relationships. Also, who's being authentic in relationships? It's like, I'm being the real me. Are you being the real you? It's like feeling that out. Venus in Leo, and at the 29th degree, we may feel a little bit extra irritated with one-sidedness, entitlement, selfishness, being taken for granted, not being seen. Leo is all about being seen. We may also face some temporary creative frustration because Venus at the anaretic degree, it's like, wrap it up. You got to shove it all in now. It's going to culminate. Then Venus goes into Virgo while conjuncting the South Node there. So what I got from this is that while Venus goes into Virgo, we have to transition from a place of warmth and self-love, essentially. That's what Venus in Leo is about as well, self-love. This openness or desire for openness and expression. We kind of have to go from that level of warmth to Virgo, and I feel as though this may be a little bit of a tricky transition. Relationships may possibly, it may not be true, okay? Relationships may go through an awkward stage while Venus is moving into Virgo, where we recognize who doesn't want to change, like who doesn't want to offer their light and radiance and warmth. We may notice certain people getting stuck when expected to open up in that way. Because on one hand, we have energetic Leo Venus, like, open up, show me your warmth, show me your light, give me something. Express yourself. Stop ignoring me for some, I don't know. It's pain around being ignored. Because Leo is the spotlight. We may notice people getting stuck in that respect, where a relationship is asking for more authenticity than people maybe want to give. So the way I see it is like, if Venus in Leo going into Virgo was a car ride or whatever, you know, she's traversing, trying to go into shift from the Leo energy to Virgo, this particular transit, because of the South Node, which I'll get into, it's like a bumpy ass ride where you're hanging on to the handle thing. What are those called? Those handle things on the top of the roof of cars. It's like grandmas when you hit a bump and they're like, oh Lord, and they're just like holding on for dear life. That's the kind of energy I'm kind of picking up when we transition from Leo to Virgo. And this is happening. It might happen. If it's, we'll wait and see, I guess. I'm okay with being wrong. This is because of the South Node in Virgo. As soon as Venus goes into Virgo, she bumps into the South Node. The South Node is patterns people repeat without knowing why. These are the patterns that keep people stuck because they're afraid of self-development. A lot of people feel comfortable in their patterns. And with Virgo, Venus going into Virgo, we hit a bump where it's like, I want to heal you. I want to free you from your traps. Let me help you. Let's work on stuff. And the other person, I was seeing like a two-sided relationship where one person's like, I want to heal you, and the other person's like, don't change me. Why are you asking me to change? I'm fine. I'm safe. Well, subconsciously it's I'm safe. Consciously they're like, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. So there's like potential to really recognize where relationships are stuck. One person's like, I want to heal you. Let's work on this. Let's, I don't know, go into doctor mode because Virgo is the doctor. And the South Node is this need to control reality. South Node in Virgo, it represents feeling safer in a reality that's controlled, because the North Node, which Venus will be opposing, the North Node in Pisces is about letting go of reality control. Pisces knows you can't really control reality. So South Node in Virgo, that tendency to cling to predictability. So relationships that are stagnant because of predictability may feel the bump in the road. When Venus tries to go, well, she's not trying, she is going to go into Virgo. It's our ego that's like, oh gosh, this is rough. So yeah, the relationships that are kind of stuck in that way may face some turbulence, but it's temporary. Everything I talk about on this channel, we can get through it. I'm not one of those people who wants to hype anything where it's like, oh, this is the end of the world. Things are never going to be the same. I don't like that. I'll talk about this a lot probably. There's a lot of the astrological culture, if that's what you want to call it. There's a lot of, oh, things are never going to be the same. Everyone's going to wake up and Earth is the new Earth, and like all these cataclysmic predictions, which I do think we're changing. The collective is waking up and changing. But to hype it to that extent where every transit is a point of no return, I don't do that here. I am here to say we're going to get through it, even if it's hella rough. Even if it's hella rough, we'll get through it. So turbulence. And we may notice more precisely when Venus makes her ingress into Virgo how people are stuck and how people aren't helping themselves or helping others, because Virgo is so inclined to help. I love this about Virgo. People with Virgo placements, they will improve your life in ways you could never understand. They are helpful beyond the scope of understanding. All the Virgos in my life, like, they want to fix your problems. It's so beautiful. And they do it in a way that some could perceive as nitpicky, but the truth is they're so uncomfortable with people suffering. Even the most dry, logical Virgo people who may seem not as heart-centered, they still can't stand to see suffering and they want to rectify it. And I think it's because Virgo is the sign of refinement and resolving things. So even the most cold seeming Virgos still want to help. It's beautiful. They want to resolve the imbalance of discomfort. So we may witness how this plays out in certain dynamics where we want to help whoever we is, I don't know. Certain people on this side of the dynamic who really want to help, but the other person is fighting to stay the same. That's what I was getting with this. The other person is battling to cling to their sense of control over reality. So this could result possibly in some arguments with people who don't want to change. And we have, I need my charts. Where are my charts? Hold on. So as Venus ingresses, we have Uranus conjunct Mars. To me, that is the need to find the eject button in certain arguments with people this week. So instead of, like, if you get stuck in an argument, you may really, really feel stuck. This could have a cathartic way of highlighting how we get stuck fighting for stuff in relationships. And I have this feeling of like, don't get stuck. Don't even go in the trenches this week, perhaps. Find the eject button, because that's what Uranus is to me. We have Mars squaring Venus. I think it's pretty wide. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. We have Mars squaring the south node. Venus is conjunct the south node. So Mars squaring the south node, I'm going to fight to the death to stay the same. That's Mars squaring the south node. How dare you try to change me? You're judging me. You're manipulating and controlling me, is Mars squaring the south node. And with Gemini, Mars being in Gemini, we got some words about this, possibly. People might have some words like, why are you trying to change me? You're not helping. Leave me alone. All you do is criticize me. Is this kind of energy coming through with Mars squaring South Node in Virgo? So we need to possibly, it's possible, we may need to avoid going into doctor mode as Venus bumps into the South Node. And then we have this opposition to the North Node in Pisces. The North Node in Pisces is begging us to change even if we don't know how it's going to work out. North Node in Pisces is that part of our evolution, the trajectory of our evolution where we have to trust because we can't see what's on the other side. So there's changes we all need to reach for internally that we're afraid to do because we just don't know if the path that it entails is the right one. That's the hardest part about North Node in Pisces, because South Node in Virgo, you're able to more clearly see how you're controlling reality than usual, maybe. Like, if I do this, I'm safe. If I constantly control the little variables in my life, I'm safe. And there could even be the trap of believing that by not trusting and doing all you can to control those little variables, which is Virgo, that you're still evolving. But part of evolution when the North Node is in Pisces is letting go of control. And it's so hard to do. And this comes through our relationships, perhaps, with North Node opposing Venus. I took that as relationships that need some form of surrender. And it felt like, again, I have this two-sided relationship that came through as I was sitting with this. It's not a metaphor. What's the word? It's not a real relationship. It's just the dynamic I was getting, where one person in the relationship wants the other person to acknowledge some sort of need to surrender. Like, please do this for me. And the other person's like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll do it later, whatever. We'll make this happen. So where in relationships are we drifting because the other person won't let go of control over knowing what's going to happen? There's certain phases in relationships where people don't understand where they're going, what they're working toward. It's like drifting. It's like being in a boat together on the vast ocean. You don't know if it's a joyride or if it's like what's that movie? a castaway scenario. There's certain phases in relationships where you don't realize that you're drifting toward survival mode. And I feel like this Venus ingress could show where people aren't willing to compromise, which is a simple way to say this. It could show what people aren't willing to give up for others. And South Node in Virgo, it's those toxic habits. So it may be hard to resist getting people to let go of their toxic habits, but Mars is making the battle really inflamed. So once again, Uranus with that eject button comes in. Like, oh, you want to argue? Nope, bye. Not going to do that, because if I do that, I'm going to get stuck. It's going to repeat on a loop. Okay. I wanted to see if I missed anything. I think that's it. So anoretic Venus Leo, feeling irritated with not being seen, not being recognized, irritated with entitlement more than usual, irritated with selfishness, and irritated with coldness, to be blunt. Venus going into Virgo, bumping into the South Node. Don't change me. I'm not trying to change you, I'm trying to help, is the vibe. But people may distort our desire to help. Whoever we or our is, I don't know. Okay. All right. I want to get to the cards. I have 3 questions. I'm trying to keep it a little shorter today. So here's how this works. I'm done with the transit talk. The transit talk is, like it implies, transitory. The transit's going to come, the transit's going to leave. We're going to get through it. Okay? Is this a promise or a lie? I forget. You know that thing where people hold their hand behind their back in a cross because they're lying? This is more a promise we'll get through it. The turbulence, the stickiness of the South Node. Anyway, transit talk is transitory. It's going to come, it's going to go. But the reading that I'm going to do now is timeless. You could pop this on whenever, and if it's meant for you, it'll resonate. If not, it's okay. Just toss it. Now, the transit may appear in the cards. Sometimes that happens. That doesn't mean that the reading is only relevant during the transit. It just means that maybe there's people who will watch this during the transit that it will apply to. But the energy is the same intention. Even if the transit comes up, the energy is still intended to be timeless. So that is the spiel. I'm going to connect and shuffle, and then I'll BRB. We'll use these bunny cards. Why not? I'm feeling a little cuddly today with Venus as the topic here. So, okay. Ooh, okay. I don't know if you witnessed that explosion. I think I'll leave it in. I wanted to pop in here and read the questions because I forgot to do that. So we have 3 questions. Question 1, what are you currently creating in relationships? Because Venus in Leo. Question 2, what change is ready to be trusted by you now? Question 3, how does your sense of self-worth get influenced by others? These questions are inspired by the transit, but the reading is timeless. All right, I'm going to shuffle. Okay, let's get started on the readings. If you've made it this far, you've done more for me than you could know, so thank you. Card 1. What are you currently creating in relationships? The Ten of Swords reversed. Oh, not giving up. There's certain people or things that you're connected to relationally that you are not giving up on, even if it looks hopeless. The Ten of Swords reversed, it's like, gosh, this looks really hopeless, but I'm going to see this to the end. That's the Ten of Swords reversed. You're going to see it to the end. It's creating its own timelessness in your relationships, this ability to stick it out, this extreme loyalty, and it's hovering on the edges of death somehow in relationships. Like maybe some people are trying to keep you stuck, or they're trying to, not trying, maybe not. This is an energy of not becoming people's hopelessness or sense of doom. And it's interesting, we have this sunset in the background here. Again, that energy of the day is almost done. Nurturing the heck out of people who feel like they're going to die in some way, whether that be metaphorical or literal. You are creating a space for people to come at their weakest point. Oh my gosh, this is getting stronger. You are nurturing people who think they're going to die in some way. It could be metaphorical. It's very, very powerful. And at times, perhaps they've dragged you down to a certain extent. Like maybe you've survived a lot. Wow. Everybody has survived a lot. I don't want to make such a vague blanket statement, but this energy, it's beautiful. It's like people come to you when they feel hopeless, and you're creating space for them. Okay, we're going to clarify these too. Card 2, what change is ready to be trusted by you? Because we have the North Node in Pisces asking us to trust what we cannot see. Six of Swords, what the freaking boat? Remember the boat I was talking about? I mean, you don't have to remember. Maybe it wasn't memorable, but the boat metaphor. The relationships that are like being in a boat and you don't know if it's a joy ride or you're like in a castaway situation. Maybe there's the edges of both. Like how a ride can go from joyful to dangerous in a second. I don't know why that's coming through, but dang. Trusting that you're going to stay afloat, trusting that you are moving to a safer place. So it goes back to this Ten of Swords, knowing that certain endings aren't the end. And I got a similar message the other day when I did the Neptune retrograde video. You know that time's up doesn't really apply to you in certain ways. And that extends to this need to go to a safer place. That's what Six of Swords represents. It's like, okay, my situation is really chaotic and it's time to go, but I don't know mentally if the place I'm going to is going to be any better. Oh, are you going to go from a place where you don't feel safe to another place where you still don't know if you're going to feel safe? That's the trust. So maybe in the past you have needed to train yourself to prepare for the worst, and then it's coming out of survival in that sense. Oh, I've been through the worst already. I don't need to prepare that much. Oh, my cat's trying to come in. Hold on. This is the only child I'm going to show on the internet. This is Gatsby. He's a troublemaker. He's a Martian. Anybody who knows what the heck Mars is about. Okay. Yeah, my other child, I have a son that I'm not going to ever show because he can't consent to being online, so I don't really believe in showing kids to the internet, but he's good with that. He doesn't give a hoot. He's gonna go lick his butt now. So what, you do the comparison. Anyway, I'm sorry. Going from a chaotic situation to another location, and the trust is just trusting that there's going to be an equilibrium. Even during the transit, during the traveling that you're going to do, you might feel stabilized in the midst of it. It's like when a sailor is sailing and they're in a storm, or they see a storm is forming, and they're like, oh God, this is going to be bad. We've only caught 40 crabs. We gotta prepare for this storm. We're not gonna survive. And then all of a sudden the storm breaks up before it hits. That's what this feels like. Okay, then we have, how does your sense of self-worth get influenced by others? 9 of Wands reversed. Preparation. You're known possibly as the one who gets through the sticky shit. You have had to let your barriers down so that you can be the one for people who helps them survive. So survival connected to self-worth, perhaps. Survival connected to other people getting through trauma. We have this poor bunny with the hurt head here. Yeah, self-worth connected to repairing, which is very Virgo in its scope. So there's the transit coming through the timeless reading, like I was saying. But yeah, known as the one who brings others back from the brink. And I wonder if it's because you have straddled the brink many times with this, is what that's telling me. Okay, we're gonna clarify. What do I want to use? Do I want to use this? We're gonna try to use this. And if I get blocked, sometimes when I use certain decks, I get blocked. I'll just switch. But it's kind of fun. I like this deck, the Real Life Tarot. I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but I still really like it. All right, we're gonna clarify now. Okay, let's clarify this 10 of Swords reversed. We got the microdoser. Oh man, your ability to go toward the brink is very amazing. What does a microdose do? It gets you acclimated for the big, like in a mushroom sense. That's what this is. Little doses of the big awakening. So you are somehow dosing people gently. So not only are you the one people come to when they feel like they're going to die in some sense. I don't really mean this literally. Maybe though. I don't know who's watching this. Not only are you making that space for people to come back from the dead, but you're also dosing them with something that could help them transform. You know, because you've been straddling the brink somehow, you know that people can't handle seeing certain things all at once. You've been dosing them. How would that work? Let me think. Like, oh, like say somebody's addicted to something, just in this context, it's just a metaphor. I don't know, maybe you work with people who are addicted to stuff, or you have experience. Say somebody's addicted to something and they're really, really stuck in it and they can't get out. You know that just telling them, hey, just stop. Just yank the drugs away all at once. You'll be fine. You know that to help them, you got to give them little tidbits of help or service. Like, here, why don't you take this brush your hair, you'll feel better. Or like, here, let me do your laundry for you. It's like a little little bit of assistance at a time to help people come back from the brink, is what I'm getting with this. Then we have the alien. Wow. You are the phoenix, dude. Whoever you are, I don't know. You are so transformed, perhaps, in some way that it's like being on another planet after you came back. So I don't know who you are, but maybe you literally went to the brink, came back, now you have eyes to see. You can see the life forms on this planet that you're returning to, in a sense, and you're like, I know how to help now. You can't do it all at once. It's little blips of tangible nurture at a time. Then we have the conspiracy theorist, making connections that people don't believe is there. That doesn't feel true. The conspiracy theorist, somebody who's looking under the veneer of society, even if they're wrong about it, you know? Here's my thing with the conspiracy brain, which I used to have. I'm not there anymore. I think a lot of conspiracy theories are based in fear and they are toxic, but I've myself had a hard time trusting the trajectory that society is on. So this card, it's like you're able to see under the veneer of the trajectory people think they're on. And maybe you keep this to yourself, I'm not sure, but you're making connections that are very intuitive about where people are going. That's really cool. So the idea of a conspiracy theorist is really heavy nowadays. It's also connected to the fear of being crazy or wrong in a very damaging way. Yeah, okay. That is, your perception is very connected to truth in that way. Then we're going to clarify the Six of Swords. Swords. The mixologist. Yeah. Mixing things for pleasure, perhaps. Mixologist. Again, it's like, come to me, help me experience a better time. That's really what a mixologist is. It's like a bartender. What do people go to bartenders for? To have a better time than the one they're having. So this kind of goes in line a little bit with this, oh, I don't know if I leave this chaos, will I end up somewhere safer? There's something here about being the one to transform the time people are living in, or the time you're living in. So let's see what else. The surprise. There it is again, this energy of you're in the boat, possibly, whoever you are, and a storm is forming, and you're like, oh, crud, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. I'm not even going to make it to Antarctica or wherever you're trying to go, metaphorically. Antarctica, what? Anyway, I don't know if I'm even going to make it there. Then all of a sudden, as you're preparing for the worst, the storm clears. There's something about that. And the mixologist is like somebody who helps people escape. There's like a split here. You are the one who helps people escape somehow. And you're also escaping. Maybe in the past, you've had to differentiate between helping people escape in a toxic way and helping people escape in a healing way. I feel that kind of. Oh, and we got the blender. Yep. Put it all in the blender, see what the heck happens, really. Blender, it's that cyclone type stormy vibe again. When you know, the blender, it spins so fast, just like a storm. Okay, being able to blend. I mean, that's kind of generic, but yeah. Last one, 9 of Wands reversed. Conflict. What was 9 of Wands reversed again? Sorry, I forget the questions by the time I'm deep in the reading. I have to check it again. How does your sense of self-worth get influenced by others? We had 9 of Wands reversed, so being the one in certain conflicts as people or things are transforming. So you're in the awkward stage. You may have helped people through a lot of their awkward stages, and you're kind of known for helping people cross over their barriers of conflict. This cow, what the hell? He's turning into broccoli. Becoming what is this? Is this funny? I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that imagery. But it's like people who are multiple things at once. They're the meat, they're the veggie, they're the carnivore, they're the herbivore. Helping people through awkward stages. We have here with what the heck? This is cool. Wow. Helping people see what's bullshit and what's not. That's like you recognizing, man, some people are so good at bullshit. Some people are so good. They're like a connoisseur of bullshit. And maybe that's because you had to take on the burden of other people's bullshit. So now you know what it looks like. Last one, puddle in the road. There's no title for this. It goes right back to that. So maybe we could turn this into a car and be like, oh crap, the storm is coming. There's a tornado headed straight for the car. The storm breaks up and all that happens is you roll over a little puddle and get your tires splashed. So I hope this makes sense. I honestly have no way of knowing, but thank you for watching if you're still here. I will be back with more stuff. I think I'm going to do Mercury next. I like separating this forecast based on the planets now. I think it's better. So, all right. Thank you. Bye. See you later.